Start by picturing a place you visit often, a place of bright lights and endless aisles. Now picture it late at night, mostly empty, quiet. What happens when you realize you're not alone and the person with you shouldn't be there? It was a quiet, overnight shift, just a few employees stocking shelves. I was in the clothing section around midnight, headphones in, just getting the job done. It's a big store, so seeing a late customer wasn't strange yet. One guy came up, asked about jeans, seemed normal. I helped him out, he walked away. That was the end of it, I thought. Hours passed, the store went silent, empty. Maybe around AM, I was over in the appliance section, moving boxes. The shelves were low, and through the space, I saw someone in the next aisle. They were watching me. The second they saw me look back, they quickly looked away, but their eyes looked familiar. I stepped closer just to see it was the same customer. From hours ago, how could he still be here? And why was he just standing there, watching with nothing in his hands? Something felt wrong, very wrong. I couldn't shake the feeling he might have been watching me longer than I realized. I went back to work. I went to a completely different part of the store, the dairy cooler. I started stocking milk and yogurt, checking dates, trying to focus. On the work, the dairy cooler is loud with the humming of the refrigerators. Suddenly, the door burst open. My heart pounded. There was a gap between some boxes on a pallet, just enough to see the door. And there he was, the same customer. I scrambled, hiding under a low shelf, pushing a big box of eggs in front of me. The loud fridges covered any noise I might make. Why hide? Seeing him lingering for hours was creepy. Seeing him in the employee area was terrifying. Seeing him follow me into the dairy cooler felt like danger was right behind me. I stayed hidden for what felt like forever, head down, listening, expecting to hear the door close. After a long, tense silence, I thought maybe he left. Slowly, I lifted my head, looking over the box, and I screamed. He was right there. Standing over the box, looking down at me, smiling. The smile vanished when I screamed. He reportedly reached his hand towards my mouth, maybe to stop me. I reacted instantly, shoving the box of eggs right into him. Eggs went everywhere, making him stumble back, looking down at his shoes. I saw my chance. I scrambled out and ran past him. He didn't grab me. I just ran, looking for another worker. I found a guy named Bob. I quickly told him what happened. Just then, the man from the dairy cooler walked up. He looked calm now. He started saying he was from corporate, there to check on things. He said he didn't mean to scare me, just checking I wasn't slacking off in the cooler. Bob seemed to buy it, but I didn't. I asked why he tried to touch my mouth. He said he didn't want to make a scene. Then, weirdly, he told me to go finish the appliance section. He turned and walked away quickly. I called out, "What's your name?" He called back Tom, and just like that, he was gone. The next day, I called a manager, Margaret. I asked about a corporate visit, and if a guy named Tom sounded familiar. Margaret said it sounded crazy. No one from corporate named Tom was scheduled, and no one would ever visit at AM. They checked the security cameras. What they found was chilling. The cameras confirmed he was a random trespasser. They showed him watching me between the aisles for the first few hours of my shift. A police report was filed. I told Margaret I couldn't do night shifts anymore. She understood. I still work there, but only during the day now. But sometimes the creepy encounters you have in public places don't end when you leave the store. Have you ever had a weird encounter with someone while shopping? Maybe they were just strange, maybe they were unsettling. What if that person didn't stay at the store? It was the Thursday before Black Friday. I was at Walmart looking for a new laptop. I grabbed the last one on a good sale. This big, rough-looking guy came up demanding the laptop, saying he needed it. I said sorry, it was the last one. He got angry, making a scene right there in the aisle. He seemed off, and my heart started racing. Other customers just stared or tried to laugh it off, calling him a nut. I just walked away quickly with the box, heading straight for the checkout line. Later that night, I was home, family asleep, setting up the new laptop in the yard by the pool. Suddenly, the motion light on the side of the house came on. That happens sometimes. We have woods nearby, animals trigger it. But still, I felt uneasy. I went inside, locked the door, and finished setting up in the living room. A few minutes later, my car alarm started blaring outside. It was my car. I looked out the window to confirm. I grabbed my keys, hit the panic button from inside. Nothing. I stepped out onto the porch and hit it again, turning off the alarm. That's when I noticed a car parked on the street in front of our house. It wasn't there when I got home. That was strange in itself. We live in a closed community, and everyone has long driveways. Seeing a car parked on the street was suspicious. I stepped down off the porch. Someone was sitting in the car. A wave of fear hit me. I went back inside, locked the door again. I went to my mom's room and told her I thought someone outside might want to hurt us. My mom came downstairs. She looked worried when I told her. She went to the front door, looked through the peephole. She gasped and put her hands over her mouth. I looked. My stomach dropped. A huge man was standing right on our doorstep. I whispered to my mom, "I think that man followed me from Walmart." Suddenly, the doorknob started turning. He was trying to get in. When it didn't open, he started pounding on the door hard. My mom cried out. My younger sister came out of her room, seeing what was happening, and started to panic too. The pounding stopped. Silence for a few minutes, except for my mom talking quietly on the phone with the police. They were on their way. Then a loud bang and crash from downstairs in the den. A window shattered. My mom and sister screamed. I told them to run upstairs. I would try to secure the den door. I waited by the door, expecting another sound, an attempt to get through. Nothing. Instead, I heard a police car siren wail briefly outside. They got here so fast. I ran outside to show them the broken window. There, hiding behind a couch in the den, they found the big, rough-looking man. He was arrested immediately. We pressed charges. As they took him away, he was reportedly yelling threats and angry words at me, which didn't help him at all. The officers told me he seemed unstable, maybe on drugs, but they said we could rest easy. He wouldn't be bothering us again. So you see all sorts of people at Walmart. Most are just shoppers, but some you might not want to cross paths with, because you never know what they might do, and maybe the most disturbing encounters happen when there's almost nobody else around at all. Working the night shift at Walmart stocking was my second job when I was finishing college. I needed the money. My job was stocking and warehouse work after hours. There were usually only a couple other people in the building with me. This one Thursday night years ago, I was in electronics. In my side vision, I saw someone walk past the aisle. That normally wouldn't matter, but tonight there were only two other workers, Alvin and Baco. They wore staff shirts. This person was in all black. I walked to the end of the aisle, peeked around. No one. I called out for Alvin and Baco. No answer. Stranger and stranger. I went back to work. I had to use the bathroom badly, but I told myself I'd go when I finished. The aisle. Seconds later, a huge crash echoed down the store, a few aisles away. It startled me. I ran over to see what happened. A bicycle was knocked off its hook. The hook was fine. It looked like someone had deliberately knocked it down. I hung it back up, feeling really uneasy now, walking around the aisles, looking. I got to the back of the store, the paper and cleaning aisle. Then a freaky sound. It sounded like a laugh. It came from the next aisle over. My heart pounded. I ran back to that aisle. There he was, the person in all black, standing at the end of the aisle, back to me, but his head turned just enough to see half his face. Then he took off running, not at me, but down some other aisle. I heard his footsteps. Running away, I had a choice, chase him or find my co-workers. I chose my co-workers. As I walked, I kept hearing these unsettling laughs and footsteps. They seemed to be circling me. I found Alvin in the women's department. I told him about the person in all black who shouldn't be here. We didn't have radios. I asked him to tell Baco if he saw him. I had to go to the bathroom right then, couldn't wait. I ran to the employee bathroom in the back warehouse area. I went into a stall. The bathroom door opened and closed, with only 3 or 4 people supposedly in the building. This felt wrong. I called out, "Who is that?" No answer. My fear spiked. I heard that awful laugh again, closer now. Someone stepped into view from the crack in the stall door. They stepped closer until the crack was covered, and all I could see was one eye watching me. Then the whispering started. I couldn't understand it, but it echoed in the bathroom, making it worse. I remembered I had Alvin's number. I grabbed my phone and called him. I spoke loudly, desperately, telling Alvin to get to the bathroom immediately. I stayed on the line with him, watching the stall door. The person outside laughed one more time. Then they ran out of the bathroom. I told Alvin to hurry. 20 or 30 seconds later, Alvin came in. He said he didn't see anyone. We had no security guards at night and no way to check cameras ourselves. I stayed with Alvin the rest of the shift, helping him stalk, safety in numbers. I texted my boss that night. When I woke up the next day, I read his reply. He said all the camera screens from that night were static. Nobody had turned them off. Reading that gave me chills. He believed me, thought it was tied to the cameras being out. But with no footage, no proof of someone breaking in, there wasn't much else they could do. That was the only night shift I ever worked where something truly unexplainable happened. These are just 3 chilling accounts, 3 moments where a place that should feel normal became terrifying. They show the fear, the confusion, the unknown. Motives and the lasting impact of strange encounters in the dark, reminding us that sometimes the creepiest things happen when no one else is around.